Hi everybody, it's Paul from Legacy Lumber and Canadian Woodworks. Welcome back to another Slaburday Saturday. We're going to be cutting up this beautiful big ash log. So let's just get right into it and let's make some sawdust. Okay, so here we go. We're hopping in the Halut telehandler, heading out to our log yard, which we just got some fresh ground asphalt in, so it's a little bit less mucky, and we're going to be grabbing a beautiful ash log. This is a customer's log, and if you'd like to know the info about what we charge to sawmill this log, we're actually going to give you the exact total of the cost to sawmill this log at the end of the video, so make sure you stay tuned right to the end if you'd like to know that. And using the telehandler is awesome to get it onto the bunks because we're able to drive up to the sawmill and we can boom the log out. We don't actually have to kind of like tipsy-toppity drive it up to where we want it, which is very dangerous and just way more sketchy. I get asked a lot, how is the log held down? And you just saw there, we just have some wedges literally that just push up against the log, and from there it just holds the log. Easy peasy, just like that. Next up, we do have some adjustable blade guides, and I moved those in, I set them, and now I'm just setting the height of the sawmill, which it's all electric. I just got an up-down button, and I got a little scale, and we're able to set where we want to set. Log like this, we're going to cut at 2.5 inches, which is also called 10/4, and the first cut is always the waste cut. It'll be our firewood. That's what we heat our shop with, as well as our kilns, so that will head off to our burn pile and air dry, and eventually hopefully dry some lumber and keep our feet warm. And of course, what we're all here for, the wood itself. This is an ash log. I think a beautiful wood, and you know, literally hundreds of thousands of them are dying around us from the emerald ash borer. This one here had the full evidence of it. The bark was falling off and had all the tracks from the emerald ash borer all over the log. So this was actually cut down by a local tree service company, and he brought it to us to sawmill in the slabs for us. So it's pretty cool that not only do we buy a lot of our logs from the local tree service companies, but they also salvage the trees themselves, keep the slabs themselves, as well as dry them, and then build furniture or sell the slabs. Now let's get a little water on here, check out the grain. This is just done to show off what the grain's gonna look like with your natural finish on it eventually. So with the first slab off, let's get to it. We're gonna cut. Fortunately, the sawmill drives itself. We do lubricate the blade ourselves with a little shot of diesel fluid. And of course, you gotta have a little fun along the way, right guys? Thumbs up all around. Beautiful slabs, it's cutting really well. This is a very fresh log also. A lot of people think, you know, maybe the log should dry a little bit before we sawmill it, but actually the greener the log, the better. It just cuts flatter. It's full of moisture, so it helps cool the blade. We do have a pretty cool thing happening. We might have a part-time sawyer join the team for 2 days a week, running just our big sawmill. And he actually showed up today. We gave him a little bit of a quick little rundown of how the mill works and kind of what his job would entail. Yeah, we're having fun with water, guys. We're having fun with water. Check out the Instagram. I took a lot of pictures of this log. We posted it to our feed and our story time. We always do that in real time as we do the sawmilling. Now, while the mill's cutting, super important, you want to keep an eye on the cut. You really want to be listening to what's going on. Also, it's going to tell you how the blade's cutting. And when the blade comes out of the very end of the cut, it's also very important to see if the blade comes straight out of the cut. If it kind of like flings up or down the back of the blade, you know it's dipping or diving, and it's definitely time to change that blade, maybe even hit something in that cut. We use the Kubota because the telehandler was being used for other things, but she still works, and it's what we started with on the farm here. It's actually my dad's tractor, but it's been fantastic. So now we're about halfway through the log. We're still using the first blade that we started with, which is fantastic. It's cutting really nice. I did add a little bit of down pressure on the blade. So the blade guides, they're there to actually guide the blade through the cut, and they're actually pushing down further than the wheels themselves. So it keeps pressure down on the blade to stop those waves up and down. It was really nice to have Joel help out. I even had Troy here helping out. This is one of the easiest logs that I ever cut. And lickety split, just like that, we're all done. Reason we were doing that, we're doing about 3 slabs at a time, is the Kubota really couldn't lift any more than that. So it's certainly doesn't have the muscle the telehandler does, but it does. It's good. You got to know its limits, and you can really use it really well. With most of the logs around that we have, as well as the slabs. Takes a little bit more skill, though, I gotta say. So that's it. That's the end of another Slaburday Saturday. We ended up with beautiful slabs. One blade cut dead flat the whole time. The grain is stunning. This is actually a customer's log, and we get asked this all the time. Do you use Sawmill customer logs? Yes, we do. On our wide sawmill, we charge $285 per hour plus the cost of the blade. So as an example, this log was $610 to get sawmilled. 2 hours labor, as well as we used 1 sawmill blade. Added expenses would be if there was steel in the log, maybe we go through 4 or 5 blades, that will add to the cost, as well as the time of changing the blade and the headaches steel brings us. As you saw in last week's Slaburday Saturday, that log had steel in literally every single cut, so it was much longer to cut it. So as always, thank you so much for tuning in. So awesome to be able to share what we do with you. Till next time, make it a great one.